Okay.
Hello, everyone. It's Rick Latona. This is the open house presentation of bestmoviesevernews.com. And I'm joined by Kurt Johnson, the seller. Kurt, thanks for joining us.
Sure, thank you.
So before we get started, for those of you uh, who are attending, if you have questions you want to ask, please use the GoToMeeting software itself. Just type the question there. I'll read it while I'm talking or Kurt's talking, and I'll ask it at the appropriate time in the presentation if I know there's about to be a section about it, or at the end if there's not going to be a section about it. But I will get the question asked. The deal we're looking at today is one that does about $60,000 a year. Asking is just under 200. We'll get more into the revenue and expenses later. For now, let's just talk about the site itself. Kurt, I always ask everyone to kick us off by telling the audience just the general story. You know, why you started it, when you started it, what it's all about. Tell us about the history of the site.
Sure. Literally, it was one of those fluke sites. I was in between film projects with other filmmakers, and and it was basically right around that whole financial crunch time in 2007. So funding for films was a little slow. So we just kind of started this as more of a hobby site, and it actually wasn't even Best Movies Ever News then. It was like a forward slash site. And it just started taking off, and people were responding to it because we started breaking news stories, and that's when we realized, oh, okay, this is actually turning into something. So we bought the domain bestmoviesevernews.com in 2010 and just transferred everything over, and it kind of took off from there. And since then, 2012, we broke several stories on movies like The Avengers and that latest Skyfall movie, the James Bond film, and that really put us on the map. So the studios started watching us, and we really picked up, which was really great. And then last fall, we started expanding out to basically, I guess, make it more profitable. Broke it into different areas like a Kindle area, a software zone, gamer zone, all entertainment. But it was the different areas to turn it more into a mega site. So when people kind of came in our front door, they came in that way, and we were able to kind of get them to go to other sections and purchase items. So we were able to pay for servers and health insurance for some of the writers, and that was basically it.
Got it. So I'm going to run through some different screenshots that you sent. Just
Yeah.
kind of just tell us all, if you would, what we're looking at.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, do you have visual?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, great.
Yeah, because I see the front page up right now.
You should see the Lego Legends of Chima, the lion.
Oh, okay. Wow, I'm not seeing that, but that's okay. Um, the way my electronics have been working today, that's okay. That's the time. That's our holiday. I guess that's our holiday shop area that you're looking at, and that's what we created last September, and it took off really well. And we basically reviewed toys, sporting goods, anything that, basically we've just been getting a lot of items that are sent to us, and our staff will review it. Oh, I see it now. And they just review the items, and that turned out to be a really profitable area of our site because it deals, it's connected to Amazon. And last Christmas it did very, very, very well because our staff, when we do reviews, it's like our movie reviews, we're really honest. So like whenever anyone sends us an item, we even tell them, you're not guaranteed a great review because because you're giving us something. We're very honest with our reviews, so that's gotten where people come to us and trust our reviews.
Okay. So I'm going to switch to the next screen just in case.
Okay, yeah, it's like I'm getting a little bit of a lag. Yeah.
No problem. The one we're looking at now looks like an article about Huawei Once Upon a Zombie Fashion Doll Review.
That's the okay. That is the front page. Okay, I guess that is the holiday shop I was just talking about. Oh, the Chima thing that I was showing, that was one of our movie advertisers that we had just gotten for Captain Phillips. I was showing that, yeah, the last one that was basically like usually in the fall is when our movie advertising picks up. Where with Academy Award season, where we get a lot of advertisements for page takeovers. So yeah, fall and winter does very well, like with movie advertisements for us for page takeovers.
Okay, gotcha.
Hmm.
Let's see. So the next one is um,
Oh no,
trending and
now I'm
bestseller.
seeing the Wowie.
Okay, well we're already past that. Trending and bestseller
Yeah.
products. Amazing Spider-Man and Lizard costume review.
Yeah, that's the front page of our the holiday shop. That's the front page of it. Because what we did is this year, because I know Halloween can sometimes be as profitable as Christmas, we went ahead and started, kind of delved into Halloween things this year, and it's like costumes and things like that, and that's definitely proven to be very profitable. Yeah, as you can see, like our background is very Halloween, and we constantly have obviously change the backgrounds, all of that for each season.
Okay. And then we've got um,
Oh, this is our social twit section. And this we started in March. It's kind of an interactive section with the readers. We're basically like, on our front page we cover, we'll cover like movie reviews, breaking entertainment news. This one is kind of like the things we don't cover. It can be like the gossip stuff, sometimes politics, just our weird and bizarre news. And the way readers can do that is it's almost like FARC, where they'll submit the weird stories to us, and we'll kind of pick and choose and put those up from around stories from all around the web. So, and that one took off much quicker than I expected it to.
okay.
Yeah, so that's one of our definitely that's a big section because we kind of put I had a feeling it would do well. So what we'll do is and again, this is just part of, with our site being so massive, it's one part of our site will feed into another and feed into another just to kind of keep people on the site, which has been working. And what we'll do is we actually have an RSS feed on the very front page of Best Movies Ever News, and it has the latest 5 social twits. And basically, when people are get done reading on the main site, they immediately will click and drive onto that part of the site. So it's kind of like the way we laid out the whole site was to make it more profitable so that each site kind of like, it's like you enter one door and then we make sure that there's enough enticement to get you to another part of our site, and then from that section to another area, and it's definitely done well.
Okay. Yeah, I would think that social media would be particularly powerful when you're talking about celebrities and movies and mass
Oh my
mass
God,
consumer
yeah, everybody
traffic
loves
type of
celebrities.
stuff. Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
So
and anything Kardashian still.
the next screenshot here looks like Zoom framework.
Oh yeah, that's basically, it's just kind of like the theme that we use is based around the Zoom framework, which is extremely fast. Because as the traffic started taking off, because we originally started on a shared server, then moved up to a shared VPS, and now a big dedicated. And the biggest thing has always been to make sure our theme is not top heavy and really crazy scripted, so it slows the site down. So we use the Zoom framework through WP Zoom.
Okay, and
Makes
obviously,
it speed along.
and obviously, looking at this, you use WordPress for content management.
Yes.
All right.
And it's just like with anything, the heavy, it's an image heavy site, so it's just, we've been able to fine tune it to make it much easier, faster loading pages. And that's this is just one of the areas that we've done that with, is just to make sure that it loads quickly, and we don't want to lose people.
Okay. Speaking of images, just since you brought the word up, it's as good a time as any to. Oops, sorry, but hold on a second. I just messed up the PowerPoint here. Someone asked if you've ever had any problems with copyrights or anything on the images. Have you ever gotten a cease and desist notice or anything like that, or?
No, basically because what it is since we're kind of like a market, we're marketing movies for the studios. It's gotten to where like now the studios they send us images, like Warner Brothers, whatever, from whatever movies coming up. Like they'll send us like early exclusive images from the Avengers too, or whatever. That happens all the time. And we've only had once where we had one image that was sent to us, and it was from the last Batman movie. And Warner Brothers just asked me. They said, that one, somebody leaked that out. Would you mind taking it down? And they emailed me directly, and we took it down. So that's basically it. Like we always work with the studios because if there's something out there that they don't want, we just kind of we'll make sure to work with them.
Okay.
And again, that's the good thing with entertainment sites is we're basically marketing movies for the studios with all the articles, so they like that free press.
Okay, so we're looking at now your analytics,
Okay.
which shows stability and growth. It's a 1-year report.
Mm-hmm.
A reasonable bounce rate.
Yeah, because basically throughout the year you can see where it's definitely had its trajectories, and usually in the summer, July, August will be a little bit slower months. That's just how the industry works, and that's why this year what we did is in August we started like, well, you know what, maybe we should jump on the Halloween wagon for the holiday shop, and that's actually our traffic has been definitely increased last month just from that alone too.
Okay.
It's just basically like, because we were never, I'm not like a big SEO person. It was more always about content. It's just like we love writing, and we have a passion for the movies we write about. And and it was like, I guess about a year and a half ago, it was like someone's like, oh, you need to start looking at Google Analytics and all that stuff. And it's just kind of like, oh, okay, and basically, as long as our number, it's like when we notice that there's a bit of a drop off, that's when we've kind of been able to work on what do we need, what do we need to do to help keep traffic during that period. So that's kind of basically how we've been dealing with it.
All right, sure. And for anybody else who has questions about items deeper in analytics, we have the full version of it, so we can be more than happy to share it with you. The next slide is the revenue graph taken from Latona's using the numbers that you had provided. It looked like you had a little peak there in January, February, March. What was different about those months?
That was all the money coming in from the holiday season, because basically with affiliates and all of that, it's usually a 60 that you get paid net 60. So all that peak came from all of our revenues during the holiday season. And because the last holiday season was when we first introduced the holiday shop, and we were kind of doing trial and error, and it definitely paid off. And this year, we're already seeing a boost already again, because you can see as we're already heading back up again, and that's coming from early holiday sales.
Okay.
Plus Halloween. Mm-hmm.
Sure. So here's the expense graph. It looks like you had higher expenses around the same time.
What we did is that was during tax time, is making sure to have an accountant to go through and make sure that deal with that stuff, because I didn't
Oh, you have accountant fees included in the expenses?
Yes. If I hiring someone to make sure that we're filing and all that good stuff right. Yeah.
All right. Oh, that's
because mainly that which is basically each, like I said, during that time of the year, but mostly our expenses are just the dedicated server. That's it.
But what about content? How many writers are involved in producing content?
It's mainly 4 solid ones, and those are the ones we all started this together. So it's been just like more fun. They've more or less done it as it's kind of a nice break from when they're in between movie projects. And we do get a lot of contributors, because as basically after 2012, when we started breaking stories, suddenly people were wanting to write for us. They wanted to be they wanted their byline, because all of our articles are picked up on Google and Bing News. So that that suddenly other writers were like, oh, that we're writing for other sites that weren't in the news. they started coming to us asking if they could contribute. So that really helped. That kind of helps out when you've actually got other people who just want who want the byline.
Okay.
Plus, it's a nice ego boost when they want to write for you. It's like, oh, that's so cool.
So there's four total writers. How many hours a month do you think that they spend on it?
Total, they're probably maybe, I guess maybe 8 hours a week, maybe. With me, it's like I put in more time just because this is kind of like it's been my passion
It's yours.
project. Yeah, and it's just like so. I'll like and it's one of those sites. It's like with anything. It's a lot of the sections of the site are very one-click because all of the other areas of the site, like the Kindle zone, the gamer zone, all you have to do is we've set it up with a cron job. So once a week it updates itself, which is to make it much easier. So the main areas of the site that I'm putting time into is the main area. Holiday shop, we put a lot more time into it right before Christmas. Like in July and August, we're doing a lot of reviews, and this month too. And the social twits kind of like that pretty much runs itself because a lot of our readers are sending us links to these stories they think that would fit for it.
Okay.
So the bulk of the site definitely is very easily maintained, which is good.
Right, and there's no other costs involved with writing?
No. Mm-mm.
All right.
No, because we, yeah.
Well, all right, so we'll walk us through a day in the life owning this thing. What is a typical activities done by you and others?
Most of it, it's gotten to where a lot of it, like for me, for me, it's like going through, going through all the spam, the emails of everybody trying to get their, get their movie covered on our site. But mainly it's just, I'll kind of go through all the emails that I'm getting and just seeing which stories are interesting. Like we never know, like day to day, you never know what's going to be the interesting story. And there's and a lot of times there'll be films that no one else is really covering, and we'll cover it, if it's something that we feel that should be covered. So it's kind of like we just, we pick and choose, what stories we think are of interest to our readers. And usually, like, if it's interesting to us, most of the time it'll be interesting to other people. And that's pretty much, it's pretty much fun. To me, it's fun, and I love doing it. It's, where you just kind of like, you get to write about what you love. And I think that's like all of us for, the other writers. It's just been, that's what's kind of kept us going on, and is that we've just, if we're sent screeners to review, we're honest about it. We, unlike other movie sites who have to do good reviews to get the advertising, we've made a name for ourselves where we're very honest, and that hasn't stopped movie advertisers from advertising on us.
Sure. So if someone was to ask you, what had you always wanted to do with the site but didn't have the time or resources to do, or where do you see this thing potentially getting to as the years go by? How would you answer that?
Well, it can definitely get bigger. It's like for me now, like I've got other film projects in development, and I'm kind of torn between, it's kind of trying to make sure to give this enough time, but also the films that I'm passionate about that I'm working on the time too, and that's part of the reason for selling is like I know that there's other passionate people out there too who would definitely can carry this on, but there's so much more that can be done with this. It can be expanded further with other areas and zones for people that want to make more money on the site. But you can, since it's entertainment, we've called it Best Movies Ever Entertainment News. It's the sky's the limit for it because everything falls under entertainment. We also do on the main page at Christmas time, we do gift idea reviews also on the site. We do, we cover sports. We just started a few months ago a daily horoscope. So it's kind of like the sky's the limit with this site, and that was what, originally we never had like a model because it was just a hobby site, but it kind of evolved on its own. it literally took on a life of its own. So it kind of has grown from that, and it expands really well. It's an easy site to expand it in any direction you actually want. So I don't know if hopefully that answers your question. It's like there's really no limit, which is
there's not a wrong answer to that question.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's what's been kind of exciting about it, because I don't like being boxed in anyway personally, and the site has kind of given all of us a lot of freedom to, like, we've done trial and error. We've tried some things that didn't work. We're like, screw it. Okay, don't do that. We'll try this. Because at one point we tried an app store, and it just didn't do it didn't do that well. So we were like, scrap it. And we did a gamer store, and that took off, and we're like, okay, this is the direction we need to be in. So it's kind of like the site tells us where we're doing well, and I think that's what I like about it, is that it's definitely easy. Like for anyone who who's interested in this kind of thing, there's really no wrong way to run the site. I mean, obviously you can run it wrong, but it's like if there's really whatever direction you see it in, you can try it. And it's like, if it's not working, the traffic will tell you.
So why are you selling it?
Literally, because like what it said was, there was some film projects coming up that, and one of them is just such a huge passion project of mine that I've been working on for about 7 years developing. And especially with film, is you kind of have to give it your all. And trying to do the site and do this, something's going to suffer, and I would hate to see the site suffer, and so that's kind of where, when I was first approached, when you all had approached, it gave me, I spent some time thinking about, like, am I really, am I ready to let this go? And after a couple of days, it just, I could feel it. It was like, you know what, I can move on. I've done a lot with this site, and if there's someone else out there who wants to take it over and really, who's passionate, wants to do it, that would be great,
Sure. Well, I think you did a great job explaining it. There don't appear to be any questions waiting for us, but if anybody wants to type one out real quick as a last minute, go ahead. There had been some questions that came in, but I was asking them as we were going. Of course, if anybody has any questions after this is over, the listing broker is Adam Beebe. You can email him at adam@latonas.com. My door is always open for everyone. I'm Rick at latonas.com. I'm more than happy to help with anything you guys may need. But you just have one last question just come in. How many media type posts are done per day?
It can range. I mean, sometimes we'll do, because it's throughout the whole site. Like, just yesterday alone, like on our social twit section, there was about 30 done on that one. And on the holiday shop, there was 10, and on the regular site, I think there was 15 done. So, I mean, we did about 50 yesterday, just in those 3 sections.
Okay.
But it can range. I mean, sometimes, like, some days it'll if we're crazy busy and we're just trying to get we're reviewing movies, we're having to sit and watch like 4 movies back to back. Sometimes it'll be like maybe 4 posts, but because it's such a massive site, people keep coming back to the different areas, because we even have one area called the movie trailer box office zone. And what it does is it gives you when people go there, it gives the box office numbers, and they can see all the new trailers that are in the theaters, any trailer they want, or if they're interested in a movie, they type in their zip code, it shows them whatever movie's playing in whatever theater in their zip code. I mean, we have like such specific areas that it's like, if people are like, oh, okay, I've read everything, they'll go somewhere else on the site.
Got it.
There's always, it's like Playland. It's like there's always something to do.
Got it. All right. Well, like I said, if anybody has any questions, adam@latonas.com or rick@latonas.com. But Kurt, you did a great job. Thanks so much. Sorry, everyone.
Sorry about the mess.
Only our sad and loyal buyers who are actually here on the call know about it being late. Anybody watching the recording had no knowledge of it. So
okay.
thanks again, everybody. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.